So Star Wars Outlaws is exactly 1 week away as of today. I'm sure those of you who are excited to play the game are getting more and more excited as the days go by. But with there being multiple different versions of Star Wars Outlaws today, I wanted to go over all 3 editions of the game and explain everything you need to know to help you guys decide which version of the game is right for you. Now, just to get the boring stuff out of the way first, obviously the game is launching on PC, PS5, and on Xbox Series X and S. And if you're not too sure which platform to buy it on, let's just say you've got a PC, but you've also got a console, something worth keeping in mind is that Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora came out late last year. That was also made by Massive Entertainment, who are making this game, albeit it was a different part of the studio. But that game came out and it actually had a really stable launch and it worked really well on all 3 platforms, with a lot of PC players saying it was one of the best PC ports in recent years. So that doesn't guarantee that it's going to be the same on Star Wars Outlaws, but I'm hoping it is the same case here. And from all the stuff we've seen, it does look really smooth in the gameplay and stuff like that too. So if you do have a PC and you're worried about performance issues, take it with a grain of salt, because obviously it could have performance issues, but it does look like it could play very smoothly on the PC. Now, there are 3 different editions of Star Wars Outlaws, those being the Standard Edition, the Gold Edition, and then the Ultimate Edition. Starting off with the Standard Edition, this one is very obvious. This is literally just the base game and it comes in at $69.99 US. Like I said, this one is very obvious. It's just the base game, but there is also a pre-order bonus too. So if you do pre-order the game, you'll also get the Kessel Runner bonus pack. It gives you a cosmetic for both your Speeder and the Trailblazer 2, and it's kind of hard to tell because it isn't exactly identical, but it does look like it's pretty much just based on the Falcon. It's mostly that sort of off-white color, but it's also got those like little red patches and stuff here and there, which does look pretty similar to the Falcon. And obviously being called the Kessel Runner, I'm going to assume they based this on the Falcon. That is it for the Standard Edition though. Like I said, very basic, and I think that one is probably the safest play for you guys. Now, before we get into the next 2, if you guys are new to the channel and you're interested in more Star Wars Outlaws content, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I have actually had my hands on the game last weekend. I played a few hours and there is plenty of content in the coming days talking about the game in depth, so make sure you don't miss out on that. Now, next up, we've got the Gold Edition of Star Wars Outlaws. This one comes in at $109 US, which is obviously quite a hike in price compared to that Standard Edition. Now, this one obviously comes with the base game and the same pre-order bonus as before too. So if you pre-order this, you'll also get that same Kessel Runner pack. But the key selling point is that the Gold Edition also comes with the Season Pass, which means you will instantly unlock the 2 upcoming DLC packs once they launch in about 6 months and about 12 months, give or take. And for those DLCs, one of which will include a lot of Lando. It's not necessarily all about Lando, but he will be a key player in one of those DLCs. And then the other one will be a story about pirates that is actually going to include Hondo Anaka as well. So the DLCs both sound fairly promising from what we've heard of them so far. There's not that much detail, so it's obviously pretty hard to tell. But if you guys are keen on those DLCs and you just know you're going to love this game, then this version will pretty much just instantly pay for them, meaning you'll get them as soon as they launch in, like I said, about 6 months and 12 months from now. On top of that, you will also then get access to the Jabba's Gambit mission, which is just an extra mission that isn't in the base game. Now, I believe everyone will eventually be able to get that, but it might not be for like a year from now. There is no confirmation that everyone's going to get it, but it says on one of these graphics here that this is an exclusive day 1 mission. Now, if it wasn't going to be available to everyone, why would they say day 1? It makes it sound like you're kind of getting this now if you get this edition, whereas everyone will just kind of get it later on. So take that with a grain of salt, but I'm fairly sure they're not going to withdraw this from everyone. I'm sure in 6 to 12 months or something like that, they will just put this in the base game. Lastly, you'll also then get Kay and Nick's Kessel Runner cosmetics, which are based on Han Solo and Chewie. In fact, it's not really even based on them. It is pretty much the exact outfit that Han wore in A New Hope. So that obviously goes well with the Kessel Runner cosmetics for both the Trailblazer and the Speeder, all of these being based around Han Solo and Chewie. Now, last but definitely not least, we've got the Ultimate Edition of Star Wars Outlaws. This one is actually digital only. The other 2 you can get in physical form, but this one is digital only and it comes in at $129.99 US. Again, that is quite a price hike compared to the base game. It is almost double the Standard Edition, so it is fairly pricey, I must say. but there is a fair amount of good content in here. Now, you're going to get everything that is included in that gold edition. So all that stuff I just mentioned for the previous edition, you'll get that in this one too. On top of that though, you will also then get 3 days early access. Now, like I said at the start of the video, the game is essentially launching in about 7 days from now, depending on where you live. At least it's 7 days in Australia. It'll probably be at most 8 days for most of you guys. And instead of playing in 7 to 8 days, you could be playing in 4 to 5 days instead. So that is kind of the key selling point of the Ultimate Edition. On top of that too, though, it will also give you 2 more cosmetic bundles for Kay and Nyx, the Rogue Infiltrator bundle and the Sabak Shark bundle, which is obviously based on Lando's Bespin Administrator outfit. And on top of that too, each of those bundles also comes with cosmetics for the Trailblazer and Kay's Speeder too. So that one kind of just depends on whether you guys value cosmetics and skins and stuff in these games. For me, those skins all look really awesome, but again, if you're not that big into cosmetics, then it probably seems like a pretty big waste of money just to get a couple of skins there in the game 3 days early when you can just get it 3 days later anyway. Now, lastly, it also comes with a digital art book as well, which is described as a visual journey into Star Wars Outlaws. So if you guys are interested in all of the concept art and stuff of the game, then that is obviously going to be very exciting. Whereas I'm sure a lot of you guys probably also don't care that much for that either. Now, in terms of which edition I would recommend, personally, I would just recommend getting the standard edition. And then from there, if you do end up liking the game, you can still buy the DLC later. I think that is the safest option, and obviously you will potentially miss some skins in some of those bundles, which, to be honest, all of those skins do actually look really cool. So if you're a big person for skins and stuff like that, then maybe it is worth getting the gold or ultimate editions. But there's obviously going to be other skins and stuff in the game too. And like I said, I think the safe play here is just to get the standard edition, and then if you do enjoy the game, get the DLC later. And if you don't enjoy the game, then you've kind of saved yourself a bit of money by not getting that DLC, because you potentially wouldn't even play it anyway. Now, I've actually recorded this video before I went up to Sydney to play the game. Like I said earlier, I've had my hands on the game as you guys are watching this, but as I'm recording this, I haven't actually played it yet. So I can't actually really say my opinion on whether the gold or ultimate editions are worth it as of right now, because I haven't played the game. If I play it and it's the best thing I've ever experience, then maybe I would say they're worth it, but I can't really say that as of right now. What I will say though is check out my next 3 videos for some in-depth opinions from me on the game. The next video, which is coming out tomorrow, is essentially answering a bunch of questions from you guys on Twitter, Patreon, and Discord, giving some honest answers to what you guys want to know about the game. And then I've got one video that is talking about some of the stuff that impressed me, and then another video talking about some of the stuff that has concerned me too. Plus, there is a video that is already out right now talking about the fact that I have played the game and my honest initial impressions of it. So with that video that's already out, as well as the next 3 videos that are coming out over the next 3 days, that should hopefully give you guys an idea of how I feel about the game. There's obviously other creators out there who have had their hands on the game too. So I would recommend just getting all of your favorite creators' opinions, seeing whether or not the game looks and sounds good and stuff like that. And then from there, it's a little bit easier to see which one is worth buying. But like I said, I do think the safe play is just get the standard edition if you do think the game looks good. 1 month later, if you've enjoyed the game and you want to play those DLC packs, then you can buy the DLC later. So that's what I personally would recommend. But that being said, I will probably buy the Ultimate Edition for this game just because I am an absolute simp when it comes to Star Wars content. So a little bit hypocritical for me, but yeah, I would recommend the standard edition just to play it safe. But that is it for everything you need to know about each edition of Star Wars Outlaws, guys. I'm keen to hear which edition sounds the best value to you guys, so be sure to leave your thoughts down below. But with that being said, thank you all very much for watching. You guys have a great day, and may the Force be with you always.